reason for my collecting is because of my grandparents. So my Nana had 15 kids and she was a really excellent cook. So that's what the kitchen is about. And then Grandma did some seamstress work. So I usually always have a sewing machine around. And my grandpa was a professional photographer, along with my grandma as well. And so I've always had like a love for cameras. And I collect, everything from antique all the way up to, 1970s probably would be where I'd sort of stop off. This is a really great Polaroid land camera. This camera was just so loved that when they decided to stop making it, there was a lot of people still looking for film. And so they started up something called the Impossible Project so that people could still get film for their old vintage Polaroid one-steps. And now they've decided to do a second one. So it's a one-step number 2, and which is a modern, updated Polaroid camera. And they're selling their film again. But this is a real true vintage one, and I've never actually had one that was still in its original box. So that's pretty exciting. It had a couple of exposures done, which have, worn out over time, unfortunately. It's got its original warranty card, and its original user's manual. Along with it comes this postcard. It probably doesn't fit in that, but you can make a Polaroid out of these postcards. So I have like a lot of Bellows cameras as well too, some Zeiss, some Kodak, some nice things. I'm really a big fan of this Minolta. It's so cute. It's a nice little camera. There's a Duoflex, which is, your 2-lens type of camera. I've sold quite a few items off of this area in the past, I don't know, a couple weeks or so. So, because I just set it up and stuff is disappearing out of here, so I don't have as much to show you as usual. I even sell some of these little guys, these nice little Viewmasters, and then I have a number of Viewmaster reels as well that go with that. There's a Flintstones one. Check out my little TV here. It's really cool. The little Fleetwood TV would be nice for a little kitchen TV. I think it's only black and white. This is just my little office area. Normally this desk is used for packaging up parcels and so on for online orders. And just now I decided, okay, I'm going to set it up like a little office area. And this is quite the amazing little accounting thing. The thing I like about this is that you put in a regular adding machine paper, and you can also do like little receipts on it as well. But it isn't meant for accounting. It plugs in and so on. So you'll notice here I have quite a collection of typewriters. And I have lots of typewriter friends that come and visit me that I really like a lot. And we talk about typewriters. I have some beautiful vases up on the top. The pink one is a red wing. The blue one is a Beswick. The one with dogwood flowers on it is Japanese made. A bit of a collection of shells. You'll notice that I have in the background here is a ship painting. What's unusual about it is it's not only a velvet painting, it's also an encaustic painting. So they've actually used 2 different techniques on this. An encaustic painting is when they pour melted wax on to make the patterns. So it's the first time I've seen one of these, so that's kind of cool. I also have the very beautiful Matador with his bull. And this one is particularly good. A lot of these were done pretty speedy. In this case, it was one artist. It was not a mass-produced item. And the spaghetti on his, which is like, it looks like spaghetti, basically, on his suit is quite good, too. Very indicative of the 1960s MCM era. The bowl really looks like it has good action to it. It's quite a beautiful velvet painting, quite unusual. I also have this velvet painting, which is of a Spanish galleon, I think, or something like that. So that's a nice little Mexican painting. All of these frames that on these kinds of paintings are hand carved by the artists themselves as well. You'll notice up top here I have some letterpress trays. The smalls here are $55 and the big ones are $75. I have a little bit of a collection, but I've been pretty cleaned out of that, of First Nations items. I happen to be Métis myself, so I do find myself attracted to that. I particularly love this this whale art. It is actually bronze, and it's done by a vintage company called SPI. They're still in operation today, but this is a vintage set, and it is a mother and calf. The mother hangs on the wall, and the calf has its own pedestal stand. Very beautiful. I have some vintage telephones, different colors of them. So I have like brown here, and I have beige, I have black ones. The typical rotary black phone, like these ones here on the bottom, are $25 here. This section has some religious artifacts in and religious items. This one is a bleeding heart of Jesus, and it needs a bit of a rewiring because what is supposed to happen is it lights up so that the bleeding heart is glowing. And I haven't been able to get a lighting person to fix it up. That is the bleeding heart of Jesus little statue. There's a Last Supper, different things, an old Bible. There's another Last Supper. This one is kind of nice too. And then there's a few items for men, which is like, you know, man care items, brushes for their clothes, a container for soap, a container for other things, a hairbrush, and this is for your toothbrush. So those are kind of nice, and there's like lots of interesting little things to use here. And there's like a brush and a shoehorn. These clippers are awesome. I used them on my arm and shaved off my arm, and my arm felt like baby soft afterwards. This is what I would call like my little science area. There's a couple of microscopes. This is a leather doctor's bag. This is an architect or drafting set, which is quite beautiful and intact. There's even your frog dissection kit right there. Just a few little things. I thought that these were quite cute. That's aviator glasses. Probably it could be for a motorcycle glasses. And then down here is some barware items, you know, some cups for Irish coffee, that kind of thing. Stir sticks at $1 a piece. Medalta beer mugs. Lots of cool things, little things there for men. Over here is some items for ladies hair care, old antique hair irons, etc. Little curlers, all kinds of stuff. Things that would appeal to ladies. And there's a few little animal things. That turquoise poodle is actually a radio, and I can get it to kind of crackle, but I can't get it to pick up a radio station. And that might be because it's probably just AM, not FM. And there's some sets of poodles. There's a black one, white one, and then a set of really long neck poodles, which are quite MCM. And you see these piano telephones. When you dial, it actually makes a little noise on them. There's some more phones. I've got different games there. There's tabletop tennis or table ping pong sets that you can set up on your own table. This is a mahjong set where you put your mahjong pieces on, and it's quite beautiful. It's hard to see. Let me grab it out. It's got some hand-painted dragons, Japanese dragons on it, Asian dragons. So that is this room, and of course, as I said, I always have some sewing machines around. These are a couple of singers. This is the 99K, which was made in Scotland, and this is just a little bit of an older singer. It's in its original table. And the table's in fairly good condition, oak. And I have a number of men's ties. Over here is the children's section. Everything in here would probably be appropriate for a baby gift for a new baby. These are old, they used to give these to new mothers and put a little floral arrangement in them, so you would get that in the hospital. It's kind of a congratulations. I got some little toys, old crayons, and even these crayons, colorless crayons. I dropped a bunch of plastic cups. These piggy banks, you know, they're quite known. It's from the, what is the name of the company again? Reliable Toys is what it's called. And these are quite collectible and very expensive. You can see what happens if they are exposed to sun. They change color. So this one was probably on a shelf in maybe a darker corner, whereas this one was exposed to the sun and went more of a yellowy color. I even have an old Curity baby package here that's never been opened. These are quite cute. These are made out of China, and it's made by the Lego company, and it's not Lego like we think of Lego, but there was a very good Japanese art company. And a couple of little prayers for two little babies. Very cute. And my old Humpty Dumpty cookie jar. So cute. Hopefully he doesn't fall off of this shelf. So this is my booth at the YQR Vintique Market. Now we're open 10 to 4, Tuesday to Saturday at 1279 Osler Street. And thanks for taking this tour with me.